All right. Well, I'm really passionate and excited. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It looks like you can.
We got you, bud.
To share finding gold in today's market. I feel so much excitement. I made my first million in 2010, 2011, after losing everything in 2008. I don't think this is 2008. I don't think the sky is falling, but I think things are difficult for us right now. And I want to share with you guys that, I really feel passionate that that's where the opportunity is. And so, as Stacy said, I've got an 80 agent team in Virginia Beach, and I'm in the trenches. And for the last year and a half, I have been working very closely with the product team at Ylopo to create seller tools that actually reach today's homeowners. And I'm going to use the concept and the phrase oasis in my 20-ish minute talk. An oasis is a fertile land in a desert. And that's kind of what some of you are facing. You're calling your past clients, you're calling your sphere, people that you know and trust. And a lot of them are saying, look, I love you. You did a fantastic job. I'm just not ready right now. I'm waiting. I'm seeing how the market's going to change. And so I want to offer all of you one alternative path. You're going to hear several today, lots of great speakers already, and I'm sure many to follow. And I want to bring out the concept of the middle of funnel seller lead. And actually, let me stop sharing real quick and reshare. I think I forgot to share sound. Yeah, there we go. All right. There we go. So the pro of a middle funnel seller lead is that no one's talking to them. There's a lack of urgency and readiness on behalf of the consumer. And there's a lack of certainty and a clarity of their needs. And if you'll notice under cons, I have the same list. That's actually not an accident. The con is no one's talking to them. There's a lack of urgency and readiness. There's a lack of certainty and a clarity of their needs. These are the seller leads that you call. These are the buyers that own a home, and you ask them if they have a home to sell, and they say things to you like, I do, but I'm really not there yet. I'm really not interested in talking about selling. I was just browsing. See, this is where so many of us as agents are just so used to accommodating the consumer as a disposition. Our sphere loves us. Our past clients love us. And it's because we're very responsive to their needs. Well, when you get someone on the phone like this that tells you they're not interested, your instincts kick in and you're accommodating. You're saying things like, I'm sorry, or I'll send you some information. I'll call you in a month. And what I want you guys to see is that if you can kind of shift your focus with these people, talk to them a little bit differently, offer a little bit of a different value, you're going to find opportunities. Now, this session is not all about scripting, but I'll tell you at the end, I'm going to give you an opportunity to download 4 seller scripts in 4 different scenarios that I'm currently using with my team that are going to help you guys when you're working them.
Hey, Barry.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1 second. Don't mean to interrupt. Can you try going full screen? Yeah, there you go.
How's that?
You rock.
All right. Where you see difficulty, I see opportunity, right? That's Albert Einstein, not Abraham Lincoln. Where you see difficulty, I see opportunity. This is a mantra of mine. Those of you that know me know that this is kind of where I live. When it gets difficult is when I press in. So the first thing that I want to say is that the sellers that I'm finding are hidden in plain sight in buyer search traffic. The consumer that you guys are dealing with usually is not starting the conversation with you based off of a desire to sell. They are starting the conversation with a desire to buy. And as they enter your database as a buyer lead, whether it's from Google or Facebook or Zillow or Realtor.com, any of these different websites that are out there, you need to understand that the consumer's expectation is to continue to talk to you about buying. And so one of the things that we've been doing, and some of you have heard me bring this up, is when a buyer registers on our website, we're asking them a series of seller questions. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to adapt your website to do something similar. The majority of people answer question number 1 in the negative. So most of the people, over 90%, say no, they do not need to sell before they buy. About 35% of the people that say no, they do not need to buy before they sell are telling us that they're interested in using their home's equity as a down payment to purchase. This question right here is focused on the fact that they're still talking about buying, right? But we're surfacing in a subtle way that they have a home to sell. Now, when we get this person on the phone, we're not talking to them in a way to where suddenly we shift and we're like, yeah, you wanted to buy. That's great. But so you have a home to sell? Can I come over? Can I give you a CMA? And we CMA them to death, right? What you guys need to understand is you're disconnected from the consumer at that moment. And I know that I'm going over generating listings. And right now I'm talking to you about buyer leads, but these are seller leads that are hidden in front of you. They're literally laying in front of you, and you're not asking the right questions. So when they say to you that they have the equity as a down payment, what you want to do is ask them where they're headed. Are you staying in town? Or are you relocating out of town? Oh, you're staying in town. What part of town are you moving to? Oh, the east side of town. What about that area interests you? Perfect. Okay, you love the schools. That's great. And I understand when you were filling things out, looks like you also have a home to sell. Oh, you do? Okay, great. Well, we're going to talk about that as a part of the transition to your new home. And so what you're seeing is I'm including the concepts of selling, but I'm not making the conversation all about selling. Look, let's be honest. You want to talk about selling. The consumer doesn't. Your buyer leads that have a home to sell are going to be the best seller leads you're going to find in this current market. And so I am generating buyer leads in droves and laughing all the way to the bank because my buyer leads have a home to sell. And then the last question, this is on my Ylopo site. If you could find a new home without selling your current one, would that interest you? And this is really helping them to understand the process. But again, the majority of the seller leads we're surfacing are from that second box. The second thing we're doing is we're changing our scripts. And so I've had the unique pleasure of working with the Ylopo team in changing how AI talks to buyers to surface seller leads. And, we both via text and voice. And so I'm going to play, I'm only going to play about 30 seconds of this, but this is a robot talking to a human.
Hello?
Hi, Alicia.
Uh-huh.
Hi. I'm a digital assistant with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate on a recorded line. I'm following up with you regarding the home search profile that you submitted. What is it that brought you to our website?
I'm actually planning on moving down to the coast. I'm not sure if I'm going to move to North Carolina coast or South Carolina coast.
Oh, okay.
But I was just looking to see what might be available when I decide to do this.
Awesome. What time frame did you have in mind?
I'm not really sure. I'm trying to sell my house in Charlotte right now.
I see.
And once I sell it, I'll be moving.
Okay.
3 or 4 months. I mean, that's not on the market yet. By word of mouth, I've got a few people that I know that's interested in it. So I'm just holding out to see what they do, and if they don't give me an answer soon, I'm going to put it on the market.
Oh, good. It seems that you have some decisions to make. We'd love to connect you with our realtor who can then strategize a game plan around possibly selling your home.
Okay.
Please hold on a minute just while I connect you, okay?
And so as you see here, you can take notes. You don't have to have robots doing this for you. The reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because I think it's freaking cool. that robots are calling my leads over 90 days and surfacing seller leads. With SMS, it's a little bit more delicate. What I had to do was I had to teach the robot not to just ask blunt seller questions. And this is a learning for you guys. What we found when we were teaching the robot to text to try to surface sellers, when we were just blunt face asking, do you have a home to sell? In droves, they were responding no. What we found with text message, because there's a general lack of trust, the consumer is not as willing to give personal information, like if they have a home, they own a home, if they need to sell. And so what we found with SMS is when they answer time frame, for example, questions. So you ask them, when are you hoping to move by? And they say 3 to 6 months. Okay, perfect. And the home you're in, are you renting or are you selling it? it's a natural progression via text message to surface that they're a seller. And so for us, this is learnings both for you and your salespeople, and learnings that robots are now able to do this. So if you don't have robots calling or texting your leads, learn from this hard data that your buyer leads, when you transition and talk about time frame, it's a subtle way to entry the concept of the transition from moving from one place to another. So again, we're still talking about the oasis of seller leads inside of your buyer traffic. We've going over the fact that, they have a home to sell, asking them if they have a home to sell, keeping the conversation about buying. Now we've gone over how robots are able to transition the conversation over to talking about if they have a home to sell. Let's see. All right, let's see. Another thing that we're doing, or that I'm doing, is finding sellers through demographic scoring. So one of the cool things about AI is that it's able to leverage droves of data about the people that are in your database. For this, I use two services. I use Ylopo. I also use a service called Revaluate. I believe there's another company called Likely.ai that you could look at this. In the Ylopo mortgage data, what it's doing is it's finding homeowners that have an increase in equity. The assumption here is that if someone has an increase in equity, that there's a stronger likelihood that they're going to be interested in cashing out that equity and possibly moving. Now, you're not going to call them and say, hey, I saw your equity went up. Do you want to sell? That wouldn't work. I'll go over what to say in just a moment. But this allows us the opportunity. This is a note inside of Follow Up Boss to see insights so that at scale, when we're looking at our database, we can find people that are more likely to sell. What I do with Revaluate is it puts a column inside my leads. And what I do is I do a search for all the leads that are, the address is not empty, so I have a home address. I added recently the column of last site visit not empty. I'll go over why I do that later. And then Revaluate score has a bigger score than 100 or than 80. And so now what I'm doing is this has, as you can see in the top left corner of the image in Follow Up Boss, 1,296 homeowners that Follow Up Boss has shown me that I have a home address, I've got a score according to AI that they're likely to move, and I've got website traffic. And the AI, as I understand it, I don't have an affiliation with Revaluate, but what they've told me is that they're looking for like the 5 Ds: death, divorce, degrees, diamonds, and delivery of babies, right? So they're looking for life events that show a likelihood that they're ready to sell. Now, when you have data like this, you can't call these people and say, hey, I read that you're likely to sell your home soon. Can I talk to you about selling your home? These people, the reason why it's an oasis, this mortgage data, just like the buyer traffic is focused on buying, the demographic data here is not someone that's focused on selling. It's someone that's focused on their life or focused on the equity that they have. And so an indirect script that is both subtle and engaging is key to getting these people to work with you. So when we have a list like this Revaluate list, the Ylopo demographic data on mortgage data, we use a script like this. And again, I'm going to allow you to download all these scripts at the end. But here's an example. Hello, John. We have buyers looking in the area of 123 Smith Street. Do you know if any of your neighbors would be open to selling their home in the next 6 to 12 months? Notice something here. We did not ask them if they want to sell their home. We're suggesting a concept and an opportunity because we know the person we're calling is a likely opportunity of someone that is considering the concept of selling for the reasons that I've just shown you. I have agents that are calling this list, and I can give you several instances where the homeowner said something along the lines of, well, I just had insert life event. And so I was just talking to a friend or family member about possibly needing to sell. And as a result of that, them saying that, the agent says, oh, well, that's great. As I said, I've got buyers looking, and we provide a list of buyers, by the way. That's not just a pitch. We actually have it. And so I'd love to be able to do a walkthrough of your home, and we can possibly talk about it. I'm sure you're not ready yet, but it sounds like there might be an opportunity there. We are winning business off of our current database by uploading lists of our homeowners and getting data around them. But the key here is emerging a convergence of data, right? And an indirect script, because these people do not have an awareness that they need an agent yet. If they did have an awareness, they would be a bottom of funnel seller lead. They would be calling their friends and family. They would be going on websites like Zillow or, you know, what's my home value? Can you have an agent come over? These particular leads don't have an acute need yet. And so by you surfacing this data, it's allowing you to find people. It's an oasis of opportunity that other agents just aren't looking for. The next one is where are the sellers? So look, I don't have to tell you, there has been in certain markets across the country, unfortunately, an increase in homes going to auction, foreclosures. It's not significant enough to change the direction of the economy, and I hope for all of our sakes that doesn't happen. But right now, in my market in particular, we have seen an uptick of that particular scenario. And so what we found is having an opportunity to offer cash for their home works really well. But what we found with Google specifically, if you're looking for Google search phrases like, how can I sell my home for cash, for example, that cost per lead is probably going to be around $15, I'm going to guess, right? Because someone that is going on Google has the intentionality to actually type out a cash offer, right? That is someone that's not thinking emotionally, completely emotionally. They're more than likely thinking pragmatically. But someone that wants to just dump one of the largest assets of their life quickly typically is more in an emotional state. And so what we found great success with procuring cash offer leads is through a new product through Google that I'm using at Ylopo called Google Pmax. And what it does is it takes the ad and it puts it on several display mediums. Right now, I'm just showing you YouTube. In this video, this guy is trying to make a pie without using a recipe, right? And so maybe the person is just hungry, right? They're just vegging out and they see these big banner ads. Now, you might say, well, Barry, these banner ads have been around a long time. Why are you showing this to me? One, because it scales really well. Two, we're seeing at Ylopo a 30% decrease in a cost per lead, 30% less across the country for cash offer leads, but an increase of, because we scan our users' follow-up bosses, an increase of 7% in dispositioning as hot or warm. So let me say that again, because that's a whole lot of numbers. It costs less and more of our users are putting them in hot and warm stage than if we were just doing standard Google ads alone. And so by broadcasting media to people watching entertainment on YouTube, right? Watching display ads and other like Hulu and other places like that. Also Gmail, you know, those banner ads are in Gmail now as well. We're seeing an increase. And so this is a situation where we are positioning ourselves in front of cash offer sellers so that we can get more cash offers. And I have a script at the end you'll be able to download of what we're saying to these, but more or less we're saying, hey, we can get you 2 to 3 cash offers in 72 hours. And if they sound interested, we're like, great, can we meet? And I want to do a walkthrough for 20 minutes. We use a product called Zudelio for our cash offers that I got for free through Ylopo, but that is a separate product. And you put it in, you get 2 to 3 cash offers for your sellers. And what we found is by having it's kind of like when you're connected to money, right? Like, I got people. Oh, you want to sell your house? I got people, right? It just instantly makes you sound important. And so what we're able to do at scale is say, look, you said you wanted to get a cash offer on your home. I got people. And then when we get in the home, all we do is we say, look, you're probably going to get 60 cents on the dollar, right? It's a sight unseen offer. Why don't we do both? Why don't you list it, right? In the MLS, I could probably get you $30,000 more, $40,000 more, and you can review these offers if you want. You can take one of them, but let's start to talk about doing both. This is too important. And so what we're finding, we also use ZBuyer for seller leads as well that are cash offers. And so that's another really great suite of opportunities. And we're seeing really great success. Now, when these cash offer leads come in, we are sending them this. And I had the unique pleasure of, let's see, I'll make this large so Ricardo doesn't scream at me. Just kidding, Ricardo. I know you love me. So I helped make this. And so this is another Ylopo product. But basically, as soon as these cash offer leads come in, we are sending them their home value, what they think changed, yada, 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 yada. This is the money shot right here. In a matter of minutes, I am sending a homeowner how much equity they have. I take the valuation of the home, I subtract the equity, how much the loan balance is, I show them equity, and I scan my database. Literally, it scans my follow-up boss and sends this homeowner a list of buyers. Now, all the information's grayed out, but this person's able to see within minutes how many buyers I have procured in my database, so that now I have the ability to be relevant in a way that my competition is just not able to do. Because now I'm not just saying I've got cash offers. Now I'm not just saying that here's how much equity you have, here's your automated valuation, but now I'm able to say, this is my home value, or this is how many buyers I have searching for a home in your market, and some other data that's important. You know, it's definitely relevant. But you know, the convergence here for you guys that I really want to point out is that as soon as the cash offer comes in, we're sending them all this information and we're calling and texting to try to see if we can add value. So again, these particular seller leads are great because they're cash offers and they're typically in a hurry. All right. So then when you're getting these, I don't know how I'm doing on time actually, because
You're way over, Barry. It's too late.
Shut up. Really?
You're 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes, bro. You're
okay.
Fine.
Ready? Thanks, Tristan. Glad to speak with you. While you're not ready to sell, if you're like my other clients, you likely think you have a lot of work to do in order to sell for top dollar. So we're telling them, look, I'm glad you're not ready. You probably think you got to fix a bunch of stuff. We found that most of our clients think they need to fix more than they really do. We offer a free 20-minute walkthrough of the property with the goal of reducing your honey-do list. This only makes sense before you're actually ready to sell because you haven't fixed anything yet. Do you have 20 minutes this Saturday to do this? So let me rephrase this for you guys. I'm telling them, I'm so glad you're not ready because you think you got to do a bunch of stuff to your house and you're going to fix a whole bunch of stuff and you're going to change the cabinets and paint all the walls. And I'm going to come in and tell you, you don't have to do any of that, right? I'm going to come in and reduce your list. So now for the middle of funnel seller, you are instantly valuable. Guys, listen to me when I say this. My team is crushing it with this approach because what happens is we meet with them, we reduce the list of repairs, we give light staging advice like, oh, you know, clutter, or this room doesn't have an identity. Let's make it an office or make it a weight room, right? And then at the end, we're like, hey, by the way, I'm here. I do have a CMA with me. I've got some listing stuff. Do you want to just go through what the process looks like just to make best of our time? Most people, after spending 20, 30 minutes in their home, they're super interested to meet with us. This absolutely crushes with middle of funnel seller leads. So in summary, one, they're hiding in plain sight. You have to find them. And I just gave you the playbook on how I'm doing it at scale. Two, we find them via technology that intersects with the consumer's day-to-day. So instead of waiting for them to come to you and saying, please sell my home, please send me a CMA, you got to go to them. They're following their dopamine, right? They're following where they're dreaming about going. That beautiful home on the river, right? That's where they are. And you've got to stay there. They're following the dopamine on YouTube. They're enjoying themselves, right? And you've got to put that there. You've got to take the initiative. And this is where the opportunity is. You've got to take the initiative to go to them. And when you get there, don't be surprised that they're not excited to talk with you. You have to be indirect and suggestive and create scenarios that they're actually interested in talking with you. Third, when you speak to them, they raise their hand in a way that surfaces opportunity. And four, we set a value-based appointment before they think they're ready to build the relationship. If you want those 4 scripts, all you got to do is text the word listings, no apostrophe, no quotations, just the word listings to 757-780-1241. That's 757-780-1241.